Hello, Odoers! Payday is probably the most emotive subject for employees in any organization. It's critical that people are paid correctly and on time. Payroll does not stop with simply giving your employees their paychecks. You must also comply with related federal, state, and local laws. Failure to properly administer your payroll duties can lead to inaccurate paychecks and financial reports. As Stealthywood grows, it becomes harder and harder to be sure we're not making any mistakes in our daily tasks leading to paying all of our employees. The payroll system should be robust and easy to use. This is why at SW we decided to use Odoo's payroll application. Odoo turns payroll from a treacherous process into the easy, rewarding, and insightful experience it should be for everyone. The payroll solution includes easy-to-read pay stubs with full-color graphs and plain language to detail taxes, deductions, and take-home pay. And employees can make the deduction and direct deposit changes. Payroll at SW is now a positive experience, leaving us with more time to focus on people rather than pay stubs. So let's see how this works in the payroll app. All right, here I am on my database. Let's go ahead and jump directly to the payroll application. So I'm going to click on payroll, and the first thing I'm going to see is a list of all of my employees. All right, and you might notice right away that some of the employees have a little warning sign on their little employee tab. Now, this warning sign means that they either don't have a running contract or it's about to expire. So it just helps you keep track of what's going on with your employees' contracts. But let's check out my contract. We're going to go to Amy Caroline, contracts, and I'm going to look at my contract. So let's go ahead and click on edit. Now, first of all, I'm going to have an overview of my contract here. So I have my company, the salary structure, the contract type, the job position, and the contract template. Okay, I have all of that on the basic information at the top. Okay, some of these fields are mandatory, and you'll know that because they'll be in bold, such as the salary structure type. Okay, and then under the contract details, I'm going to have the logistics. Okay, the start date, the end date, if it's a fixed term contract, if there's a trial period, the end of that, the working schedule, which of course we need in order to get paid or pay our employees correctly. Okay, we also have the HR responsible and our contract templates. Okay, we can define all of that here. If we go over on to the next tab, we can actually get into the specifics of the salary, such as the wage type. So I have a monthly fixed wage. We have the actual wage amount. Okay, so I'm in my Belgian company, so this will be in euro. Okay, I can add the amount if I offer a fuel card, same with meal vouchers. This will be per day worked. All right, representation fees, commission on target. I can even add an intellectual property percentage as well, which is especially useful in Belgium. And then we can also choose this option here, which will allow our employees to decide if they want to put an extra amount aside for taxes or for something like that. Okay, then we have the employee cost. So this will be the yearly budget. Now you'll see all of these are based on different things. So for the employee budget, we have per year, and then the specific wage is per month. And then the meal vouchers, as I said before, is per day worked. Then below, we're going to be able to see if we have an amount for internet, mobile. We can also say if they use a company card. And then we have the yearly advantages as well. So if there's some extra paid time off or eco vouchers. All right, so you can add all of the specifics here, and it could depend from employee to employee, what they want, what you offer them. So this really can be contract and employee specific. Then we'll be able to add some personal documents, of course. If they have a mobile subscription through your company, you add that here, an image, ID card, everything you can add here. And then we can also add some lines for the attachment of salary. So for example, if some money needs to come from their salary to pay a debt or something else, you can define that here. And for part-time workers, we also have a credit time button as well. Now, some of these options really depend on your localization, which you can set in the settings. All right. Now, once you have added everything, you can always click on the generate simulation link that will send this contract to your future employees or your current employees who are signing a new contract, and they will be able to configure maybe some additional advantages. If you give them the possibility to have order a new car, for example, they can do that and sign that contract with this link. Okay, so I can click on send offer, but I already know that I already know that I'm going to sign. I'm going to deal with that later, so I won't configure my package right now. So let's go ahead and cancel this. All right, so that's the basics of the contract. But now let's look at our work entries. So we can go to our work entries here, and this is actually how we are going to figure out how much we should pay our employees for that month. Okay, so I'm going to click on work entries, and these are automatically generated because we have the schedule of every employee. And because of that, we will create these work entries based on that schedule, and then we'll be able to generate pay slips. But we do need to validate the work entries before generating the pay slips. And we won't be able to generate the pay slips if there are any conflicts with our work entries. So payroll is actually integrated with the time off application. So for example, if I have an employee who has requested a time off at the same time as one of these work entries, we're going to see that there's a conflict because we'll see a little orange flag on the work entry right here. Now, of course, you might have a lot of employees, so it would be difficult to see all of the little orange flags. You're searching through everything here, but we can quickly go to work entries, conflicts, and only see the conflicts and resolve them right here. Okay, so let's click on the conflict. I see that this work entry cannot be validated because there's a leave to approve or refuse at the same time. So let's go ahead and click on refuse time off. Okay, I know that Amy Caroline, not actually Mitchell Admin, will actually be at work that day and not be taking this time off. So I'll save this. No more conflicts. We go back to work entries and we're going to be able to generate those pay slips. Now, something else that's really cool from this view is we can also see if one of our employees has had some sick time off or some annual time off. Okay, so all of that is taken into account. But now let's generate the pay slips. So I'm going to click on generate pay slips here. Okay, so I have a batch of pay slips. All right, this is where I can validate everything at once, and I will be able to look at the individual pay slips by clicking on pay slips right here. So let's go ahead and check one out. On the pay slip itself, we're going to see how many days were worked for this month. Okay, so for this pay slip. Okay, and if there was any sick time off, so I had 2 sick days off actually, and then I worked the rest of the working days that month. And then we're going to be able to see that how the salary is actually computed. All right, and this will be based on a series of rules. Now you can configure some of these quickly with a localization package. You can also create new rules as well. And I'm going to show you later how we can create rules, but you might have many to take into account, and you see a lot of things here. So for example, I have my gross salary here, and that will not be the same for every employee because everyone gets paid, well, some of our employees at least get paid different salaries, or they maybe took advantage of different benefits that others didn't, which of course changes the amount. So if I go to Marianne here, I'm going to see that her gross salary is actually different than mine. Okay, and then we also have our general accounting information as well that we can add here. So our company, batch name, and so on. All right, but let's go ahead and validate these. I'm going to validate all of them quickly by clicking on Create Draft Entry. Okay, and once I clicked on that, it's actually going to post some entries to my accounting application because I've activated that option in the settings, which we'll look at in just a moment. But I can also pay my employees right away by clicking on this Make Payment button. So I can actually create a SEPA file. This is for European countries. I can create a SEPA file for each employee and then pay them through a SEPA transfer, which is really cool, and I can manage that from my payroll application. All right, so I'll just click on Make Payment and Confirm. All right, but now before we do that, let's actually go to Configuration Settings. And from the settings page, for the last two options we saw, I activated payroll entries, which post payroll slips in accounting. And that also gave me the possibility to activate the option payroll SEPA. Now, SEPA payments are only for European countries and a few others that are a part of this agreement. So it's not worldwide. And as you can see here, I have selected a payroll localization as well. So when you install the payroll application, you will be prompted to add a Belgian localization in the settings page if you would like to, a payroll localization. Okay, and so here I have the Belgian localization, and then I have some things that I can add. So if I want to say they can have a certain amount of paid time off a year, commission on target, things like this. Okay, so I can configure all of that. All right, but if you want to create your own rules, all you have to do is go to Configuration, Rules. Okay, and we have many here. To create a new one, you simply have to click on the Create button, but let's go ahead and check out one that we already have. So here we have our basic salary category, basic. Okay, we're going to have a code, a salary structure. We can say where it is in the sequence, if it's active, if it appears in the payslip. And then we also have some other conditions and computation here. Now, this really depends on your business's needs, where you are located, so you can customize this to what is needed in your country. All right, you can add a description as well. And then, of course, if you need it, some accounting information, such as the debit, credit account, analytic account, and things like that. All right, so that's how you can create a new rule. But what's something else that's really cool about the payroll app? Now, as you can see, it really depends on where you are actually located, but you can definitely, it's a bit flexible, so you can definitely customize this based on your business's needs. But what's really cool, and something that everyone can take advantage of, is the reporting section. Okay, so we're going to go to reporting. Now we have a lot of options here. We can just check the payroll, paid time off allocation, meal vouchers, attachment of salary, and DMFA. Okay, so we have a lot of options under the reporting menu, which is really cool. But let's go ahead and click on payroll. Okay, so first of all, I just see this based on the last 365 days pay slips, but we can change the measures. So I have my net wage here and just the start date, but we could say, let's say gross wage, and then we could say based on work days, work hours. We can add a bunch of different things for how we would like to group this. Okay, and then we can just check out what's going on, have a good report of the payroll analysis, simply, of what's going on for our company and with our employees. So this is something to definitely take advantage of. You can play with time ranges, make some filters your favorite, and then change the filters here as well. All right, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.